Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the camera being so close to my face. I wanted you to see what we're working with today. So, something quick and easy. If you would like to start your cherry tomatoes or regular tomatoes, this is just one version of the way you can do it without starting them from buying seeds. If you have cherry tomatoes already at home, or if you happen to get some from the grocery store, this is another way you can actually start using tomatoes. So in this one here, I have some soil seed starter mix, and I already labeled them cherry tomatoes. And then I also have another one that's it says little tomatoes pear shaped. So I have two versions of tomatoes. So we're gonna actually get them started by using tomatoes that I'm using to cook with. So if you check back with my other video on garden to the table, you can see how I use these here in an omelet. Okay, so first thing that we're gonna do is we have our seed starter mix already in the pot or in this container, and I choose to use these here because I'm just gonna start them out. Once they catch, then I will pot them up as necessary. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the soil. It's slightly damp, so I don't have a lot of water in it, of course, because I've used the rest of it for other stuff. So I'm going to slightly move the soil over a little bit. This is just the way I'm doing it right here. You can actually lay them straight on top and then lay more soil on it. But in this version, I'm going to just take the tomato, this one, I might not use. Well, it actually it have like one or two tomato seeds in this one. And that's fine because I don't want a whole lot of tomatoes growing up because I have to cipher which ones I'm going to keep. So normally what you can do, you can lay this whole thing just right here with the peel and all. But today what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this tomato. I'm going to take it out. Since it's only like one. And I'm going to, first let me make sure that's a tomato. That's not even a seed, I'm sorry. Okay, this one here don't have a seed in it. So what I'm going to take this one. This one have a lot of seeds in it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and take this whole thing. I'm going to sit it right here in the middle of the soil. And you want to make sure it has good contact with the soil. Okay. As well as this is the pear tomato. And you can see the seeds. I'm going to turn it around so you can see this way. So I'm just going to drop this one. Do the same thing. Press it down. Okay. So now that we have that taken care of, I'm just going to take my little thing here. And I'm just going to cover it up. Cover it up. I want to make sure it has good contact with the soil. And over the course of the weeks, I don't know how long it's going to take for it to actually sprout. It just depends. Tomatoes need heat to sprout. And I'm working with limited space, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get these here warm. And I'm going to figure something out. And I'm just pressing around the tomato. We know I put it in the center. Okay. And now you don't see it. And the next step will actually be to water it. This one here I'm going to put to the side because, and throw it away actually. So now The only thing you have to do now is water it and watch it grow. So I have to figure out where I'm going to put it because I don't have a lot of space. So these are the lids for them, for these little containers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on top of it. I'm just going to make it like a greenhouse effect. Actually, you don't have to have it pressed all the way down. This one here did fine. It's slightly open. It's okay. It's because it's getting a little air. So, same thing with this one. I already have slits at the bottom. I have about 4 slits, so I can actually water from the bottom. And because I've worked with this soil before, I know it doesn't take a long time to, it's not hard to get it moistened. So, I'm going to come right back to you as soon as I put them in place, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to water the tomatoes. Okay, so what I did was I moved some of my plants that was already starting. I sat them on top of the heating mat, and I just used a dome from one of my old seed starting trays. So I sat them inside the seed store in the little top, upside down, of course. And I got some water. And I'm just going to pour some at the bottom of the container. And I'm going to let it bottom feed. That's what the slits are for. And once it's, after maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, if it's not gone, then what I do is I pour the rest of the water out because you don't want to drown them. You don't want it super soggy at all. So I put them on the heat starting mat. It have their own top to represent a dome to keep the moisture in, and you're just gonna wait and let it go. And since we are here, I'm gonna try to zoom in so you can see how my other seedlings are doing at this time. So let's see if we can get that. Here we have our regular tomatoes. This is all the different versions, variety of tomatoes. I said it in a previous video as well. These, I do have the green striped zebra tomatoes, the tomato Oregon Spring, as well as the VR Moscow, the yellow jazz tomatoes, the beefsteak tomatoes, and it's another one I do have, but I'll update you on that in a minute. But I had to pot up these tomatoes, and so far, because they was very leggy, and so far this is how they're doing. Let me see if I can get you in there. Let me see. I might have to turn on some more light, because all I'm working with is right now is my grow lights. Hopefully that helped a little bit. So we have, this one is the Oregon Spring, and I like using these little cups, or seed starting pots, or whatever you want to call little powders. Excuse me. So it's getting close to time to give them another watering. And I mentioned to someone about when your seedling starts, it's going to be very hard right now. But this is after I potted up. When you look at that stem, you're going to see little fuzzy things. And those fuzzy things are going to be potential roots for its future references. So I can actually, I'm going to go ahead and just put the water in this container. And again, as you can see, I'm bottle feeding my seedlings, because you do not want to, at this stage, you do not want to water them from the top. Okay? And any water that the new ones don't collect, I will put in here. So these are all my tomatoes. Over here, I have my moonflower, which is time to pot that up to the next thing, because I have 2. and they grow pretty fast, okay? And I don't want them to outgrow the pot. I'm going to pull this whole thing out so you can see what's in here. As well as I'm going to be taking some of these out because I do have excess water left in here because I just watered them this morning. I have my moringa. I'm going to pull you out, back up so you can see. So I have my moonflower, and I only have one in here, which is great. I have another, not moonflower, moringa. This is the moringa. Then I have 2 more moonflowers right here, which as you can see, this one here is just as big, and look how long it is already. So I will have to up pot this one as well. This is one of my comfries that I got recently, and it has taken off. Now I still have one outside I need to bring back in to work on it to see what's going on with it. It was doing fine, and again, if you follow my videos, you can go all the way back when I got that first one, and it was doing very, very good inside. And when I took it outside, it did not do well. One thing about comfort, they really don't like to be in a pot. You have to stay up on them. So I'm trying to decide before these here go out exactly where I'm going to put them, because I don't want them to not thrive. So I don't know if it's going to be a bigger container, because the other one wasn't that big for us, the container. And so we're going to do something different. Here I have 2 more moringas, and these are the dwarf moringas, okay? So definitely I'm going to have to separate these here as well, because you can't have 2 of them growing in there. Now one could probably survive in this particular container for a little longer, but having 2 of them in it is just not going to cut it. So I do have an idea what I'm going to do with this one. Most likely I will put it in this pot, because this was supposed to be a moringa too, but this one never caught, and that's okay. It may catch later, who knows? But if not, it is what it is. I have here is a Texas hibiscus. Now this is the smaller of the 3 I did plant. Only 2 of them caught so far, and I heard it do take a while for them to catch. So, and they don't like to be bone dry, so you have to make sure that they don't want to be over wet, but they don't want to be bone dry. This is the other Texas hibiscus, and I think that this what this is right here. This is a little dot. You barely can probably see it. And I'm going to leave it alone for a little longer to see if it's going to catch. Now, this is my first time. Let me see what this one is. Okay, so this is a Texas hibiscus here as well, but nothing came up. And again, I heard it can still take a long time for them to come up, or they won't. And I do have other seeds, and if 1 or 2 of them catch, that's fine. This is my first time growing them, so I need to see how I can manage those. This is my first time doing eggplant, and I might have to plant them. I do see where it started, but to me, because this is my first time, it look a little funky, like it's a little weak, but I'm not sure because it's my first time. So I'm probably going to drop another seed in there just in case. And that's with all of them, as well as I heard they can take a long time too. This is my Black Beauty, and I planted these guys on 111. So I think by now I should have had a sprout with either one of those. So since I don't see sprouts, I will be probably putting some more in them as well. And I have, what kind is this? I have the Florida Market. I don't know if that's what this little green fuzz is. It's really, really fine. But I will be dropping probably 1 or 2 more in each one of my eggplants, just in case to have a little backup, because if you know me, I like to only use 1 seed, and normally I have great germination rate. If these first ones so happen to pop up, that's great, you know, that's fine. I wing them out. I hate to waste seeds, but at the end of the day, I do want them to have a proper amount of time to grow. Okay, And in this bucket here, I have the Cardinal Hybrid. This is a bell pepper. So the Carnival Hybrid, I'm sorry. So I have one, I did the 1 seed thing, not challenge, but this is me. I only planted one. And it's there. So it has a lot of room to grow up in this particular thing for a while. So that's great. I have, this is my second comfrey. And again, it is doing well. It's not as fast as the first one, but it's doing very, very good. So I'm proud of that as well. And this is my third comfrey. And again, as you can see, it is doing very well. These, I know, going to be fine. Because I'm going to do something different this time. I'm not going to put them in a smaller planter. Because most of you know I do container garden. So I want to make sure that these survive and I don't have to doctor up on them to get them to where they need to be. Once established, then I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. The debate is, do I want them in the ground or do I want to have a big enough container that will hold them? Because they roots can get deep. Okay. So that's on that level. I'm going to pull this tray out. And here, I have my echinacea right here. They're sprouting, and I just planted these 4 days ago, max. And these are my Sweet William right here. And these are my Colis, and they're sprouted. Everything has sprouted. Same method as I did the tomato. I did these except from these was from seeds, and they're doing fine. So I'm gonna put these here back under the light. Once I seen 1 seed sprout, I took the dome off of them. Okay, you don't want the dome to stay on them forever. Number one, you don't have that kind of grow room in those particular containers if you leave them under the dome. And you want to be able to control the moisture as well. So this tray here, I'm gonna pray it do not fall because trust me, I had to rig up the height. You do want your stuff close to the light when they're sorting out, because if not, Jesus, don't fall. Be nice to me. Come on out of here. So yes, a lot of times your stuff can be leggy if they're not getting the proper amount of light. You can have light shining on them, but if it's not close to the light, your seedlings can become leggy. That's with any seedlings. And some seedlings can recover, some can't. This tray here needs to be watered. I see a few of them. Here I have the dwarf marigolds. And this one, I see a sprout. It looks a little shaky to me, so I might have to drop another 2 in each one. But I'm pretty sure that these here will turn out to be fine, and I'm okay with that. Once they get that right heat, they'll be fine. But I only have a limited space in this new greenhouse setup. Here I have, this is my basils. This is my red basil. This is my basil lime. This is my basil, my regular green basil. This one is my Thai basil. This, my basil lemon basil. It's in the corner over here. And this last one over here is my dark basil. And I have 1 tomato in this particular one, and this is one of my zebra stripe tomatoes that I had to pot up as well. So since I pot them up, they're taking off now. Once they get the going, they get the going. So with this particular one, what I will be doing is, again, everything is about figuring out where you're going to put things in. So with this one here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to I need to water them, so I'm going to move these here differently. I'm going to slide over the tomatoes that I just started. And I'm just going to put this here tray down here because I do need to get to that one to water. And then my other ones that's right here on the ground, not on the ground, but sitting down here, I'm going to put these up there at the under the light a little more. Okay, and I'm going to raise this up so you can see just, I mean, when I say you have to have them close to the light, sometimes you have to use whatever you need, whatever you have to get them close. So as you can see, I have all kind of stuff to keep them elevated because these are not the type that you have the little chain and you can raise or lower your light system. Okay, I do have shop lights, but they're not working. I need some more bulbs, so that's a whole nother story. And since we are going through a winter watch, I can't do that right now. So with this one here, I'm doing something. What do you need? Okay, I'll be in there, okay? So I'm going to take these here off because as you guys can tell, this particular one that's I'm finna put up here is really, really, the comfrey is already tall. So I'm just going to try, hope I don't knock nothing down because I have had a history of dropping stuff. And this is, like I said, this is very challenging for me. Actually, I'm going to do something else different. I'm going to take these buckets down towards the level. And although I need them, I feel like I want them higher. Everything, majority of everything has caught. But the comfrey, I might have to take and put in a whole different location just in front of a window. Because that thing, not that thing, those things are not playing by going straight up. So that's how I have to do that particular one, because due to the comfrey being so big already, probably the next time you see this video, I've been to switched everything up. So we left off with me moving the comfrey up here, and eventually I will move the basil once I upgrade that into the pots it's going to be in. So I do have an idea where my basil will go, but right now I'm going to leave it where it's at for to mature just a little bit more. I do have some stackables that I'm going to use for them. I'm not going to put them all in the garden space. I will put one of each probably in the garden space, but I will have a stackable basil tower as well as a mint tower. Okay, so we're going to go down here to the bottom. The bottom rack are the things I have right here at the bottom. I'm going to bring you down so you can see. So in these here is my peppers. Now, I've never seen my peppers do what they doing. I just watered everything lightly because I didn't want to have too much water in them. Some of them look like they was catching. Some of them look like the little seed coating thing wasn't coming off. So I'm going to see if you can see that. This one right here, that's the seed coated, the husk. So it has not fallen off. And I actually have two of them just like that in there. So what I did with, that's how all of them is coming up, most of them. And this is my sweet chocolate bells. This is my first time growing that. What I did was, just for backup, I dropped 2 seeds in each variety again, just in case those seeds that's trying to start don't do well. Another example, this is the jalapeno. This one is tucked. Now you could tell it's coming up, but it's looked like something crazy. Okay, and again, I haven't had to experience that. So that's how most of them are coming up, and it's kind of making me feel a little leery. It could be any reasons. It can be either too much water, not enough water. The seeds could be bad, which they shouldn't, because I think majority of these was like Baker Creek. Some of them I did get off like Etsy, as well as like the dollar store. And I've never had trouble with germinating any seeds. So for us right now, I'm not going to say it's trouble. I'm saying I'm just kind of curious about what's going on. This is my poblano, and I do have one right here. But again, if you can see, maybe it's just not time. I still have the seed coating, the husk still on it, and I have 2 of them coming up. But I'm telling you, I planted 2 more in there. This one is the only one that did just what I needed to do. This is the habanero, and they always plant on 116. So this one here came up fine. So I know I didn't do anything terribly wrong with it, but maybe just certain varieties to take a little longer or whatever. I don't know. But we're going to keep letting it do what it do. And I do have them on a heating mat. The tomatoes are off the heating mat and just under the light, as well as everything else. Only thing is on the heating mat is the tomatoes that I just started from a tomato, and my peppers. Everything else is off the heating mat, and once they popped open, I straight put them under the light. Okay, now if I had more than 2 heating mats, I could have left them all kind of go, because again, you got to think, these are things that's for the spring. Some of them that can take a little heat. Some of them need heat to start germinating. Some of them need the light to germinate. So you have to cipher which way. If you can do both at the same time, fine. I think it was my basil. It said it need light to germinate. So I started on the heat mat. As soon as I seen one pop out and it wasn't under the light, I immediately took the dome off all of them, and I take that back. Well, yeah, I did that like that, and I took the light, the heat, took them off the light, off the heating mat, and not off the light, off the heating mat, and took the dome off, and then I just put them under the light. And as you can see, they're fine. The same way with my flowers, my Sweet Williams and Echinaceas and whatever else I said I had under there. So, and I still have a few more things, like I said, I need to start, which is like my mint, which needed to be started like yesterday. So that's something that'll probably happen in a couple of days. But this video here is like an update on what's going on. What is Lovelady starting? I'm strengthening up my tripod, guys. So what is Lovelady starting? How does she start tomatoes from a tomato? Okay, and I will make sure I keep you updated on how they're doing. Today is February the 13th, so we will see how long it takes for those tomatoes to start sprouting. Now, it could be in a week, it could be in 2 weeks. It just depends. The last ones I did start like that. I was in my different grow area, and also I had some started outside like that. So it just depends on, I guess, the atmosphere, the environment it's growing in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this particular video on my seeds, an update on my seeds that I already have started and it's already growing. And by means, if you like something that you've seen, give it a thumbs up. If you not a member or subscriber, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you can always know when Lovelady is updating or putting out a video. Share the video. Maybe someone needs this information. You may already have your own thing that worked for you. Hey, it's helpful to someone. Again, you guys be safe. It is very cold here in Texas, record temperatures. It's nothing more I can really do outside at all because ice is everywhere. We're getting the next 3 days. It's just going to go straight downhill. They're predicting this here to go for until at least Thursday. Well, Wednesday night, Thursday. So we'll be cold and icy and possible still lagging snow all week, and we're predicted to warm up like next Sunday into Monday, we'll start trying to climb back into the 60s. Okay, so again, if it's something you would like to see me start, let me know. And I do not have a gnat problem. If you check out one of my earliest videos in my playlist on how I start my seed starting mix, check that out. I was going to put an updated video out, but it's still the same. I don't do anything different. When I started in the house, I used the same remedy some other people do use. Is using a neem oil. I only use neem oil and hot water in my seed starting mix. Some people use other things in combination with that. Feel free to try whatever version you like. And if, again, you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you and have a great day.